Alright, I'm going to go over how to adjust the width and height of your player. If you actually go to your demos and open up the sizes.html file, right here, player, demo, and sizes.html, you'll actually get directions on how to do this right there with examples, and that's what we're going to go over. So by default, if you don't care about the size, you'll get this larger 40 pixel tall player, and then when we say two player sizes, we're usually referencing this small player size, which is 30 pixels tall, and we're comparing it to the large player, which is 40 pixels tall. So to get the small player size, we can open up the sizes.html file, and you'll notice that in our examples, the only difference is this div class of progression small. So if I remove that on this audio player up here, and I refresh the page, you'll notice that it just grew from 30 pixels tall to 40 pixels tall. So if you want to do that, you can, if you want to make it small again, we'll add that back in and refresh the page, and you notice it got small again. One other thing to note when you adjust the height is you'll also need to edit the JavaScript on the bottom of your page that's activating the player. So if we scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that there's an audio height option. So if you are using the small player, make sure you toss that number down to 30, since that's the height of the player, that's the small player. So I'm going to leave that alone. And then the next thing I'll cover is width. And width can actually be anything. That one is any width that you want. And there's two ways to adjust this. One of them is via this style max width equals, and that's what you're going to want to use generally on to adjust them down. So if you want to do, let's say 200 for example on this audio player up here, you can do so, and you'll notice that it got really tiny, and that's a bit too small to fit all these things. So we'll do 250, and you can see how small it can get the player. And so we can do 800 as well, for example, and you can see how wide it gets. And then obviously if you're using the responsive video players, this is the key to adjusting that. If you're not using a responsive player, you can just adjust it down here in the JavaScript as well under audio width. It's very simple to adjust that. So there's a couple ways you can adjust the parameters and play around with your audio and video sizes.